Hi, this is attorney David Gibbs with the National Center for Life and Liberty. Many schools and preschools across the nation are facing unprecedented decisions regarding their ministries due to the COVID-19 public health crisis. This resource video is to assist your church or ministry in determining what would be best practices during this time. The majority of school districts in the United States have closed public schools requiring distance or virtual education for students. States have requested that private schools follow the same guidelines to protect their students from exposure to the virus. We're making some recommendations for the Christian schools. Our recommendation is to generally follow the lead of the public school district in your area. Most states have mandated school closures through the end of April. States are currently reviewing requirements for days of attendance to determine how to manage graduation requirements. This is an ongoing situation that we will keep our eye on in the coming days, as each state is going to be making these determinations. Our recommendations are as follows. Number one, follow the local public school district and state government's lead for closure. That's the safest course. Number two, provide continuity of education using distance or virtual means during this time period with your students. Number three, if you can, keep your teachers employed. They can manage the distance or virtual solutions. Number four, you're legally able to require your students to participate in distance or virtual programs. Number five, keep your children and your parents engaged through frequent, if not even daily, communication so they can hear from you. Now, with regard to preschools, you have some options. You certainly can close your preschool if you deem that best. We understand there's a risk in gathering any children together. The majority of schools and preschools are choosing to remain closed through the end of April while they wait for further updates from state health departments and the CDC. During this time, stay-at-home options can be made available if your students are older, again using Zoom or other distance solutions. The NCLL is recommending the following. Number one, limit, if you choose to stay open, preschool attendance only to children whose parents have essential jobs. Number two, maintain 10 or fewer children in each classroom. Number three, ensure a higher level of sanitation. Right now, you need to make sure your buildings are extra clean. Number four, check the temperature of all children before they enter classrooms each morning. This is an important pre-check to not allow a child come in to somehow contaminate the others. Number five, send any children with temperatures home for a 14-day quarantine. Number six, require a 14-day quarantine for any children who've traveled overseas or into any of the hot spots in the United States recently. If you follow these programs, you should be able to keep your preschool reasonably safe. Now, we also recommend number seven, that you immediately send home any child who begins to exhibit COVID-19 symptoms. You're going to have to monitor very closely. There's a number of resources that are available for schools and preschools that can assist in distance learning and extracurricular options during this time of school closure. Zoom has made itself available free to any school in the United States. Other programs like Google Slides, ABC Mouse, Amazon Future Engineer, Amplify, or Blooms are all available. As schools and preschools determine how best to respond, I remind all of you there's no one-size-fits-all solution. If you're trying to determine how best to navigate this complicated dynamic, don't hesitate to reach out to the National Center for Life and Liberty. We are monitoring the situation in all 50 states, and we want your church ministry and your preschool ministry to be able to continue using best and safe practices during this unprecedented moment in our nation's history.